Hello, and wait for the get rid of the grid. Hello, and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Hello. Yes, we are within the Matrix tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and we are bringing you Comics Solving Problems, which is us, two comedians who are here to solve all your problems. We started this off almost a year ago in lockdown, and look how far we've progressed. Maybe that's not the best example, but regardless, we look at the day's news, we look at the world's problems, and we solve them. And if you want to, you can interact with us on the chatter that's there, because if you go to our YouTube channel, there's the comments thing, and we can see what you're doing, and we can talk to you. You can solve problems. You can comment on the show. You can send us things on the old Twitter as well. And if you're watching on Facebook, you can comment there, and you can forward it on and share it to your friends to show them what you're watching with your lockdown. You could be reading world literature. But no, you're here with us, where you belong. And yeah, we'll take you through some problems. If at any point you do happen to enjoy what we're doing, you can buy us what we call a Ko-fi, which is basically a way of giving us money that makes it sound like we're not begging so much, because we're essentially underemployed, because we can't gig because we're both in the UK. But we look at news from all over the world, even if you're from someplace like Canada. So they have news in Canada, Steve?
I'm sure they do. They probably have happy news in Canada because they seem to be just generally less stressed than the rest of us.
Yeah.
That's the attitude. Oh, and while we're talking about people getting in touch with the show, I also want to do a shout out to John, who called into a radio station I was working at this week to say that we look nice in our smart whistles.
Oh. Is that Cockney rhyming slang for something?
It is. It's Cockney rhyming slang, whistle and flute jackets. So that's how it works.
Very nice. And I do have to say thank you, because there are some people, because you can also purchase pre-donations, which is a real act of faith, tickets through the Crack Comedy portal. And there's a couple of people that did that as well. So they have pre-donated. So thank you very much for doing that, and welcome to the show.
You're right. That means that they believe that we will be funny in this half hour more than I do, to be fair. And I've seen some of the jokes.
And you can say that now because we've already got their money.
Nice.
Yes. So, Steve, I think you're going to kick us off. Is that right?
Yeah, let's jump into the first problem. This is about trying to solve the problem of the fallout of the riots in America. And we should say right out the bat, last week, we did a bit where we talked about the riots on Capitol Hill and all that lark. And I did a little thing where I basically accused America of being Bronze Age.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
Fair enough.
Yeah. It turns out there might have been some emotional impact for you as well. And that then I took it as a clip, put it on TikTok, and it both trended. We got quite a few messages, and there's a thing that they do called duets, where people film themselves watching our video.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a thing. I haven't done the TikTok thing. This has been your territory.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
I don't really understand it, because some people also just duetted it with a blank screen. I don't know what you've done there. Some people put icons in there. And what I've made is a selection of some of the people who duetted themselves watching our video in one big screen. So you can see it. And that way you also get to see the little bit of material we did last week. You can find it in the whole show. But here's a selection of some of the duets from when we went viral. Let's have a look. As an American, I work with you, and I realise I should cut you more slack.
Oh.
You're a young country. I mean, like, you've been around for a handful of hundreds of years, but we've been around for thousands, and we should give you the space to do the things that we went through. You know, medieval periods, dark ages, the Enlightenment. Let's hope you get there. At the moment, I've looked at what I saw yesterday, and I think as a civilization, you are slightly post-Bronze Age.
Thanks.
Because you're clearly still in tribes that like to fight each other, but you can use tools. So, you know, you'll get there. Hang in there, Eric. That's what I say to you.
I thought you were being sincere for a little bit.
I thought you would. I thought maybe. I would, yeah.
I thought you were going to actually...
I mean, that was weird, wasn't it? Because it's the closest we've had to actually seeing a live audience for so long.
Wow.
It's kind of strange. Also, big shout out to the guy who was below us in the picture with the word savage above him, who actually, even though our clip went viral, he managed to get more views on the video of him watching us than we got on our video of doing the damn joke.
Jesus Christ.
Dear.
Why are we just making cat videos, Steve?
Because I don't have a cat.
We write all day.
You got a dog, scared him off. Day. Yep.
Get a fucking cat.
If we could just watch videos and get more views. Anyway, so from all that, and look, there were loads of comments and loads of them had a go at me for being British, and like, it's amazing. It's almost as if they think I didn't get the hypocrisy that I was doing. But fair enough, right? And some people are in favour of it, some people are against. It's been an interesting, little period of going viral, and so I realise I need to apologise. And I'm a big enough man to say when I was wrong. And I was very wrong, because you can't use tools. And I knew that when I saw this in the news. An Alabama man who was in attendance during that insurrection apparently had a heart attack after he accidentally tased himself in the testicles. Now, that's not a great example of being able to use a tool, is it? And I have a lot of sympathy for that kind of mentality, because who hasn't sat there thinking, wonder what that'd be like on my testicles? So this is a great reason to never buy a taser, because at some point you're going to think, I could get rid of some of the hairs using this thing. And a lot of people go through life wondering, what would something be like if I put my testicles on it? And psychologists say it's similar to what happens with babies. They go through that phase where they're just putting things in their mouth all the time, the oral phase, because they are experiencing the world through their mouth. Then some middle-aged men experience the world through putting their testicles on or in things, which is why that middle-aged man should never go anywhere near that baby. Solved a problem. And sure, some people think, what would that be like on my testicles? Spoiler alert, deep heat, less comforting than you'd imagine. Who'd have thought? And yet somehow still less painful than original source mint shower gel. How the hell do they make that stuff? Anyway, so a lot of sympathy for anyone who's buying a taser. Going about, I'm at a riot, I got a taser. It's not as exciting as I thought. I wonder what happens if like that. Yeah. And the good news is, it looks like that was fake news, because no one's actually managed to find the hospital admission for someone who had those injuries, and that is good. I'd rather laugh at something that's not real, because it's very difficult. All deaths are tragic, and here is a nuanced thing which I know doesn't play well these days. All deaths are tragic, but some deaths are more tragic than others. They're still all tragic. But like a little young innocent child dies of some horrible disease that's incurable. They're at top of the tree of tragic. And therefore that is more tragic than someone who was trampled to death while holding a flag that says "Don't tread on me." It's still tragic. Still tragic. But it's less tragic because she was trampled to death while holding a flag that said "Don't tread on me." And it's just less tragic because the irony, because the fact that she turned up to a Trump rally thinking that people at the Trump rally could read. What a mistake at a maker. So that's tragic. Okay, what we can do instead, let's not think about the people who died at the protest. People who were injured, surely we can laugh at those. Not really, because when you see someone suffer, it really gets the heartstrings, like this woman who trended on social media.
What happened to you?
I got maced.
She got maced.
Yeah, that's sad.
Are you okay? What the hell happened?
And what happened? You were trying to go inside the Capitol?
Yeah, I made it like a foot inside, and they pushed me out, and they maced me.
So you were one of the rioters, not an innocent bystander. Oh my God. I think we've achieved something even greater than white privilege. I think this is the time when we now appreciate that Karen privilege is the overlap of two trends of social media for so long. Because look, we're both steeped in all that there white privilege, but both of us know, as a bloke, if you refuse to do what the police say, you're going to get injured. You just know it.
But you're less likely if you're white, though.
Yeah, but you're still going to, you're not going to get shot, you're just going to get injured. Yeah. Like in the UK, you're not going to get shot anyway, really. But I grew up in working class Midlands. So many stories of someone who got a little bit leery with a bouncer ends up in hospital. It's just the way it is. Yeah. Things get a bit tasty, you end up getting broken. That is a video of a woman there who's never had the world say no to her. I got maced? What? Is doing something illegal against the law now? Why did I get maced for being a trespasser in a government building? What about my feelings? It was amazing to watch. There's another bit where their conversation continued.
What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Elizabeth. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee.
And is that spelt with a Z? Genius. She. I
like the high tech you're going with there.
The high tech. Of Quick, do it before the video's over. She gave out her address. Look at that. That is, again, someone who's never been too worried about being the criminal. And then the conversation ends with this.
Why did you want to go in?
We're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution.
Oh, it's a revolution. Oh, I got maced during... Why didn't the government just give in? Why should I have any resistance when I'm trying to overthrow a government and they use some pepper spray? They slightly seasoned me. So it was amazing to watch. But there's a conspiracy within a conspiracy. Then there's this bit. Pay attention to see if you can see what people were very... There are two reasons I'm playing this little clip. Pay attention to what she's doing with her eyes, but also it's just fun to have a listen to it.
Okay.
It's quite fun. If you look in there, what's in the towel? People have said that is an onion. And the theory is that she was holding an onion in there when she said that she was maced. Now, some people think it was for faking. I don't think it was fake. Because there were reports that on QAnon websites and QAnon discussion boards, they tell these rioters to take onions with them, because if you get maced or pepper sprayed, you rub the onion in your eyes and it will counteract the mace. Now, I used to be a chemist, and even I couldn't be bothered to look that up because I just want it to be true. I want it to be the case that hopefully it doesn't help. But some troll has, instead of just being like QAnon's rubbish, have gone onto their websites and told them all that in the event of being maced, rub onion into your eyes. And while you're at it, if ever you accidentally tase yourself in the balls, I'll tell you what'll cure that. 9-volt battery up the arse. Have a crack at that. If you can't do that, use the mains. Hey. So, I mean, I don't know if I've solved any of the problems. It almost feels like some of them are self-solving problems, aren't they?
Well, I can see using the onion if you've been pepper sprayed, because that would be better seasoning.
Yeah. Make a little ragu.
Yeah, exactly. But I love that. I mean, that means that's intent, though. If that's what was going on the forums, saying, take an onion because you were expecting to cause problems and you might get maced or pepper sprayed, that could be the new thing. Like, you have to frisk people, not for guns,
vegetables,
but for little, little.
Yeah,
fresh spring onion. But
it makes me think all of those French people are terrorists.
Accused Antifa of carrying around cans of soup, and now, because there was a whole thing about, we didn't get to cover this. I think it was in the summer when we had taken a slight break. But some of the riots were happening. He was saying that they're carrying cans of soup to throw at the police.
Right.
So now you've got Antifa carrying cans of soup, and you've got the protesters. I think they're not the Antifa protesters, which is the anti-fascist protesters. They're the fascist protesters.
Oh, good. Good maths.
They're carrying onions. So get them together, you'd have a nice meal.
Yeah, that's true. At some point, it would be great if somehow all the political upset just subsides and everyone just has a nice little snack.
It's like that story from, World War I, where the soldiers came out of the trenches to play football, Antifa with the can of soup and somebody on the fascist side with an onion, and
one of the police with a pepper spray.
Dish,
I'll get that. Is it a bit bland? I'll get that for you. Yeah.
There we go. Nice. And then someone heated up with their taser.
Sorry, they smells the balls a bit, but it'd be fine.
I have to say, the deep heat thing is something that's dangerous. I accidentally brushed my teeth with deep heat once, and it was because it looks like a tube of toothpaste. And someone in my house, I believe it was my stepfather, he'd left the tube of deep heat where the toothpaste normally was. And you're in the morning, you're not really paying attention, you just grab the tube and just...
Did you not smell it when it was getting near your face? And you're like, God, that really smells like an old man's.
Have you ever seen Americans' teeth? There's a reason we look that good.
No, but get in there with it's deep heat. If you open the little tube, the entire room smells like it's some sort of massage parlor for OAPs.
I had sinus issues as a child.
Okay. Excuses. All right.
So there you go. Well, thanks. Well, that's exciting that we're viral on TikTok, because the only other person I know on TikTok is my son. And he's had a few videos go mildly viral, but none of this reaction thing. I got to learn about that as well.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. And I'll put the thing up in as well.
It feels very voyeuristic that they're watching us.
Well, yeah. But also to film yourself watching a comedy clip.
Yeah, it's a little bit desperate, but please do it.
Yeah, well, yeah. And also, I mean, as much as I'm mildly annoyed that guy got more likes and views for the version of him watching us than us, you know, as much as I was going to have a go at them for being, how self-centered are you that you film yourself watching something? You're not the most important thing. Only because my ego is going like, what about me? Where's my mace?
Look at whose name's on the screens. Yeah, over there.
There it is.
Yeah. Anyway, cool. Well, if you enjoyed Steve's bit there and want to donate to our quest to understand TikTok, the Ko-fi link is there. We'll take a look at the comments here. Oh, Mark's nice. We both progressed. I'm now Eric now has an American correspondent with Steve has colored lights.
Yeah.
There we go.
Look at that. To try and get rid of the terrible wall we've got back there. Mint and tea tree. It does tingle a bit. Ooh. Although tea tree's very good for the skin.
Victoria recommends that you should always do a risk assessment before you riot.
That's true. Yeah.
That's very important.
Little Koch statement. Mark says, oh, woe is me. I only got a foot inside before they maced me. I'm a useless rioter. That's true. Not even taking responsibility for not even successfully rioting.
Yeah, that's a pretty sad push through. But at least you brought the onions. I mean,
that is planning ahead, isn't it?
If you carry an onion that far, you want to be able to use it.
There was also a picture of someone with a T-shirt that was like the something protest with a date. And someone had tweeted it saying, for all of those reporters saying, could this have been pre-planned? Well, they made T-shirts. How impromptu are your T-shirt making abilities?
That's brilliant. Right. Is there any other comments before we crack on?
Well, Mark says, yeah, I had to genuinely fill in a risk assessment to arrange a narrowboat holiday. Good. Those things are death traps.
And so Victoria's asked if he was planning to cook onions.
Oh, on a boat? Oh, my God. Imagine the carnage. If you're on a narrowboat and you're trying to cook onions, the next thing you'll hear is Michael Burke doing a voiceover saying, it was an ordinary day, but then disaster. And the next thing, they're calling the emergency services. 999.
Oh, dear. Right. Should we talk more about America?
Yeah, let's get stuck in. What you got for us?
Well, I mean, what you just talked about was a good point, because we've seen these protesters now. And really the problem is, what happens after the revolution, Steve? It's a good question, isn't it? Because there are lots of stories going around. There's lots of people that have been, participated in the riots that occurred. We talked about it last week. Everybody. I mean, there's some famous images. Like there's this guy stealing the lectern. I don't like the fact that they staged a coup, Steve. I don't like the fact that they've tried to undermine the democratically elected government of the United States. But he looks so happy. I mean, he's stealing the Speaker of the House, the third most powerful person in the United States government's, that's hers. He's stealing that from her, right? And he's smiling and he's waving, and he has since been arrested.
Nice. So
he's not smiling now. Now, we know he's been arrested because he was identified after that picture was posted because he's a schmuck. And he's now been assigned his attorney. And this is what we can see his lawyer is saying now.
Part of what you have to, factor into is, again, you just have to drill down on what actually happened. You have a photograph of our client, in a building, unauthorized to be there with, what appears to be a podium or a lectern. I'm not exactly sure which one it is called, but that's what we have.
So, I'm just a lawyer. I got two problems. I mean, there's some problems there. A, there's a picture of his client stealing an item. And B, the lawyer doesn't even know what the item was. It was a stand, it was a lectern. I don't know. This guy's screwed. I mean, and the press were on this lawyer as well, we can see from this question.
That presents problems for you as a defense attorney in that you have your client in the building at the time of the break-in.
Yeah, I don't know how to else explain that, but yeah, that would be a problem.
I mean, normally, in movies, you see the defense attorney, they're all shady. They're trying to, no, he's not guilty. He didn't do anything. He's like, yeah, this guy is fucked. I mean, I don't even know why he's hired me. I mean, there's two of us as well. This other guy's a lawyer too. I mean, we're just taking his money. Luckily, he recently sold something that was worth quite a lot.
Well, that makes sense. Can you just say what was great was that he was stood there doing effectively a press conference, not behind a lectern. Because you probably know
if they had one thing available.
Brilliant.
But the thing is, this lawyer is going to be pretty busy because a lot of people have been working on identifying the rioters. And actually, this woman's been sending tweets here. Her name is Robin Brody, and she's a photojournalist who took a lot of videos and pictures on the day. And so she's now been doing high-res shots and sending them out for people to help find the people who rose up against America. These are criminals, just in case you're wondering, that white people can be criminals too. One of the guys that she featured is this one. Now,
Wow.
I mean,
So you pack
it's
lunch.
nice to know that they make fatigues in plus sizes. And it's easy to laugh at this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, because look at him. Jesus. But I mean, the thing is, it's easy to laugh at him, but the badge he's wearing on that bulletproof vest says Oath Keepers, which is a far-right extremist group. I mean, these are serious, white supremacists. These are bad people whose mission is to create problems, obviously at a slow pace and only if there's a donut shop on the way, but not in the nice kind of cop donut shop, but in literally, this guy's going to spend most of his time at the donut shop. Now, and we all remember, I mean, it's not just him. It's easy to laugh, but this is a fascist. And remember this guy?
Oh, yeah.
The madman with the bullhorns. He's also been arrested in Arizona, but there's a tragic part of this story, Steve. Since he's been in jail, he hasn't been able to eat anything because, according to his mother, they have not been able to serve him organic food.
Oh, didn't he take onions with him?
I would imagine that once he asked the police for organic food, there was some organic food. If you can call human feces organic.
Yeah. No pesticides.
I mean, I know a lot of people say the cops are on Trump's side, but not when that schmuck came in there. Now, it's not just affecting the people who support the president. It's actually starting to affect the president, his leading this coup, as we can see this week, as he was finally removed from Twitter.
Oh, my days.
The thing he loved the most, even more than Ivanka, is gone. It's gone, Steve. And now, Steve, I mean, I have a modest, just under 5,000 followers on Twitter. You have how many followers on Twitter, Steve?
30,000, I think.
30,000, yeah. I'll be honest with you, my dog is on Twitter, has more followers than me. But all three of us, Steve, have more followers on Twitter than Donald Trump.
Yep. Nice.
That is a sweet, sweet victory. And that's not the only thing that Trump's been losing. He's also, as we can see from this headline, been having some other problems with other companies, institutions, and banks deciding that they don't want to work with somebody who's trying to overthrow the elected government of the United States. It's funny how that happens, isn't it? Everyone is so shocked. He's been deplatformed and de-sponsored. Why is this happening? It's an attack on free speech. No, it's an attack on the people trying to overthrow the democratically elected government of the United States. I don't know how many more times I have to say that to people who are... Anyway. So businesses are pulling away from Trump. Some of the banks are pulling away from Trump, which explains why I got this email earlier today from Donald Trump himself, apparently, where it says, Eric, I'm a very famous and important president of a country. If I have had my money frozen by my political enemies, if you will be my friend, I will send you $1 billion, asterisk, so that we can work together. We will have a good time and grab lots of... And he wants my bank details. Don't be a sore loser like me sons. I don't know, why are these emails always badly written?
Yeah. You think he could get
why?
someone to proofread it?
You think he could? I don't know. Normally it's because it's a prince and they speak with a different way. And I still didn't do the Trump accent.
Yeah.
Now, the reason there's an asterisk on that, of course, is because of this story, that Deutsche Bank, one of the banks that lends with Trump, is also cutting ties, but he owes them $300 million. So when Trump says he has $1 billion that he wants to send me, I'm realizing is he wants me to just take over his debt.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So
The art of the deal.
it's not going very well for the conspirators, the insurrectionists, the seditionists, whatever you want to call them, the idiots who, as you've noticed, rub onions in their eyes. But I do, if Trump does get in trouble for this, and if he does go to jail, there is some good news we saw in this headline, that the Secret Service will go with him if he goes to prison.
Oh, that's a bad gig, isn't it?
That is a bad gig, but, I mean, that's got to make Trump feel a little bit better, I think.
In the
If you're
prison
going to
yard,
go...
yeah.
go with company. And you think, well, what Secret Service agent would that be? And we've actually found out that it would be this guy. So I think everything's, Steve.
Yeah.
I think everything's going to be okay.
That's the message we wanted. It's been a long time getting here, but I think you're right. He'll end up in prison. Paul Blart, jihadist, or whatever his flipping name is, that guy. He'll be there protecting.
I should have superimposed one of those little scootery things.
Little segue.
Mark that.
Yeah, just gotta go and riot.
The invasion of the segways. And they follow.
Imagine. I love the idea as well that, and that could be stopped like Daleks, just a good set of steps. That's it. Get rid of the ramps. It also gets rid of Donald Trump. The idea that all the Secret Service have to go to prison as well. I mean, you think you'd be safe from the usual things that ex-presidents have to be kept safe from if you're in prison. You know, you're inside. Just keep them away from Stabby McGee or other inmates like that. But imagine that. What are you doing? What's your new job? Oh, I've got like life in a state pen. Good Lord.
I mean, you think, oh, you're a Secret Service agent. That's exciting. That's cool. No, 20 to life.
Blimey, good stuff.
Well, if you're enjoying us, remember we put up the subscription to the channel. You can do that and subscribe to YouTube, and that's where the chat is, which we'll check in with in a second. And of course, you can always buy us a coffee.
Let's get that up there as well. Would very
we take
much
all
help.
currencies as well, even Canadian. Joseph, who's a big time, long-term friend of the show, has said donut operator. So for the, I think the guy who was, because I said he gets donuts.
Yeah.
Oath keeper. It's
Oath keeper, donut operator. That sounds like a good job title. Joseph says it's worth a shot. Jay Inslee sent $300 million to Washington State unemployment to a Nigerian scammer. Ah, well, that's.
I understand that. That's the governor of Washington State, where Joe lives.
Right. Oh, they got scammed, did they? Oh, that's a shame.
Apparently, yes. I don't know if that's totally true. Is that true, Joey? Oh, he'll tell us.
We're on
sure
the internet. It doesn't have to be true, does it?
What?
And Mark says, it's been pointed out that Donald Trump is the first person to have their Twitter account suspended who was in the cast of Home Alone 2. Wow. He just keeps doing the firsts.
He'll also be the first member of Home Alone 2 that's been impeached twice.
Yeah. Wow. He just keeps breaking the ceiling.
And we have confirmed accuracy from Joseph himself that there was $300 million sent of Washington State unemployment to a Nigerian scammer.
Wow. Excellent.
So he's confirmed it on the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, fact.
It must be true. The bishop says, I'm loving Stabby McGee. It was just the first name of a theoretical prison inmate that I could think of. Not my finest. That's why I write some of this rather than just try and improv it. Stabby McGee.
It's a Tuesday. Expect on a Tuesday.
Yeah, what do you expect? I think we're up to date with the comments.
There we go. Did we get Martin's? Or is that an old one?
Oh, I might not have done that. You go for it.
Soup, Heinz or Baxter's Cullen Skank. I don't know where that came. When I was talking about the cans of soup, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we miss them sometimes, guys. We try and stay caught up on the comments, but they don't always get there in time.
Well, look at that. We're blaming other people rather than just we're in the zone. Well, keep the comments coming through. You can message, tweet. You can follow on YouTube to get the messages in there as well in that comment section. Right, I've got another problem for us though.
Ooh.
This one is about it's something that I find very upsetting.
Oh.
The story is Cadbury's Cream Eggs advert starring a gay couple sharing a gooey treat has homophobes bursting with rage, and you just think, come on, it's 2021, what's going on? And we zoom in on the picture from the advert, and I have to be honest, I am offended.
Really?
I am appalled. Might be too strong a word, maybe not. I am outraged. Yeah. Who in their right mind shares a cream egg? Let's not normalise that. Well, I mean, who cares which couple it is? Good luck to you. But
I was worried about you there for a second. I was like, where are we going with this?
Doesn't matter the gender or sex of anyone involved. I tell you what, you should not do. Share a cream egg. They're only this big. It's mouth-sized. I've already got enough trouble. If you order a portion of chips, there's no way you're defending off, your partner having some of those. I've made my peace with that. But if something is one bite, I have to share that. Do it. I got upset before when just the presumption that you have to share things these days, like a share, like a family bag. Well, I'm eating it to myself. So what? Have I got multiple personality disorder? Jog on, mate. The fact that some of them are resealable. Don't tease me like that. Don't give me one evening's worth of chocolate with a resealable lid. You're wasting plastics. Oddly, when they downgraded the number of Cadbury's cream eggs in a box from down from 6 to 5, they kept the price the same, shrinkflation. I wasn't too upset because now you get 5 in a box, and 5 is a prime number. Okay. And back in the bad old days, when you'd buy a box of 6, if there were 2, 3, or 6 people, then you could evenly distribute them, and the social pressure there is, why don't we all have one? But with 5 being a prime number, unless I have 4 other friends, I don't have to share my cream eggs. And I ain't got 4 friends. Now who's winning? But it just upset me, the idea that there would be pressure to have to crack open a cream egg and share it with your partner. I actually find other things in the advert offensive. Not at all their relationship. Just I don't feel like I'm being represented, me as a person. I've done like a super edit of the advert, and see if you can see what I mean. They talk about the different ways to eat the cream egg.
Pickers! Bakers! Experts! Dippers! Sharers! Yeah, we are down with that.
And where's the representation for the way that I eat the cream egg? The criers. What about us who just sit there having a box of 5 to ourselves and go, 2020 is just too much. So I've decided, look, if Cadbury's aren't going to respect my way of eating, I am going to have to find a new way of eating a Cadbury's cream egg. So what I did was a way that I'm sure everyone's tried. I decided to try and see what it would be like if I put it on my balls. And melts it a bit, to be fair. But there you go.
That was the thud. Jesus. I hope that wasn't against your balls.
What the hell? Wow. This is a dense one. I don't think I can finish this. Does anyone want to share it? Eric, do you want to?
Is that a hard...
It's the first time we've ever lined up anything that actually works on this show. If you would have had one ready, we could have made that.
You didn't tell me.
Well, wouldn't have shared mine.
It sounds like that's a hard boiled Cadbury egg.
I think hard, but I wasn't expecting that. Good Lord.
I do have one issue with it as well. Is it easy for you to go back to the picture, the still of them two?
All of them, yeah.
Kissing?
Yeah, I can do it.
That's
It's
the
zoom
one with
in
an
one.
egg between them.
It
There
is.
we go. My only problem with that, I don't care that it's 2 guys. I just think if you're going to share food like that, you should shave first.
No, I'll defend them.
Get little whiskers and stuff in there.
I'll defend them on that because they're basically doing a Lady and the Tramp, and they both had hairy faces. So
But that's a long piece of food. This is close contact food that's sticky. You crack open that egg, that yolk is just, it's going to be in, I just shave first, guys. That's all I'm going to say.
it'll be messy.
It's 2021. Everybody shaves everything.
Not us, though. Although I've got down to stubble zone. Yeah.
That's because I'm working on Billy Bob coming back.
Oh,
he'll be here soon. He's got to get back from DC, and he's on a no-fly list.
So if you'd like to fund this show in any way, because I had to buy props today, and by the way, that's another page of my post-it notes gone.
Well, we've gotten an update from Joey saying it wasn't $300 million. It was actually $650 million. So what we really need to find somebody to support the show is to find that Nigerian scammer.
Yes.
And have him pay for the show.
Or just send an email to...
Do you know his name?
Yeah. Whoever, we want the person who was easily scammed. The scammer's not going to give up the money, but the idiot in charge will.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So he's the governor of Washington State. Not Washington, D.C. It's different Washington.
One of the Washingtons.
He was an important figure.
It's the guy in charge of Grover Washington. Get him in charge. Tell him for a couple of million he can buy a cream egg. A very solid one.
Jesus. Bishop has asked, which one got the fat end of the egg?
Good point, because you can't share it that way or that way because it's not symmetrical. You'd have to share it down this
That's not going to work. No.
They've not thought it through.
My mouth doesn't open that big.
Yeah, mine does. Which that's the other thing. There is no way that's not just a one mouther. In fact, at the start of your next one, I'll pop that in one in a sec. But I've got some comments to read.
Maybe they had small mouths. You don't know. Don't be prejudiced.
The bigger the mouth, the better. That's all I'm saying.
That's all you're saying. Right. So, are you going to eat it now?
Yeah, I'm just going to...
After it's been in your balls.
It's fresh. Any other comments coming through? I see we've got some good here. It could have been worse. It could have been a scream egg. Is that just a pun? Nice.
Okay.
And let's have a look. The Bishop just sent some smiley faces. Oh, you saw the one over there. Cream egg campaign is yours egg shaped. Well, depends what we're talking about. Anyway, I'm just going to pop this in one because it's not even a challenge, and this is not sharing. Off we go.
I can't perform while you're eating. Just have to just finish it first. Because I knew you were going to make that face. How is it?
Best part of the show.
And you got 4 of them to go? How many have you eaten from the box of 5?
Didn't got a box. Didn't trust myself.
You might be on telly again someday. All right. So, Donald Trump has stopped eating. If I'm going to have a TikTok moment, I can't have it with you chewing away over there.
Yep.
This is it. Fix my hair. So, Donald Trump doesn't have Twitter anymore, does he? And so he's got a problem. He's being deplatformed left and right. He's not even on Pinterest anymore. I haven't even tried. He's not on anything. So how do you advertise now if you're Donald Trump? Right? He's still got people to reach. He's still got places to go. So one of the places he can go is Wales, which you can see here. No, Steve, not that Wales. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this one. Here, there you go. Actual Wales, a Florida manatee with Trump carved into the back.
What?
Which is one way to do it. It's just etched into the back of the whale, not the country. It's a terrible pun. I can't believe you did that. Carved into the back of a whale. If you don't believe me, this is true. We've got video footage here. There's the P.
Oh,
and the Trump. There it is. Trump carved into the back there. It's tricky to tell the whole time. We've got a close-up so you can see the first 2 letters. So you can actually see that it is a real. See, that's the T and the R. So they've kind of missed out on some of the capitalization a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, but cut them some slack. They're water mammals.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a real thing that happened. It's down in Florida, this manatee whale. And it makes sense. It's Florida, the state you'd go for Trump. There's a mammal. You know, if dead people can vote, so can a manatee. Don't be racist. It wasn't actually carved into his back or etched into it. It was carved into the algae on his back, which is, hey,
I suppose better.
That's what it's for. Animal rights people were very upset, awfully. I mean, it's awful, isn't it? One animal rights person said that it's terrible because a whale is not a billboard, which is true. I mean, if anything, they're more like a sign on the side of a bus. You don't call that a billboard. It's moving. It's a whole different kind of advertisement. It's a different rate scheme, costs. Anyway, it's a different thing. It's not the first time. I think Trump knew that he was going to be struggling to reach people after his failed coup, because not only are they looking to do the mammal thing to put his name in there, the whole idea for doing it on the backside of a whale has come up before, as we can see here. The first time they did that. So
they got the capitalization wrong there as well.
It's a capital T.
No, but the R, but the M and the P are capital. It must be difficult for him to reach that angle.
Yeah, that's kind of. It's took ages to do that.
Yeah,
The thing is, when I originally got that picture off the web, I realized that I'd gotten another spoof picture of him playing tennis that had a cake in the tennis racket, and then I did the Trump on the butt and loaded it in and realized that I had chosen the picture that had the cake on it. It's like, oh, this is somebody else's satirical photo. I can't. So then I had to go in, get the other photo without the cake on it, and then I cut and pasted the Trump that I'd made and lined it up and resized it. So that is actually a butt on top of a butt.
Wow.
Skills.
I mean, the photoshopping on this show is really going through the roof.
I mean, the budget is just crazy. That's why we need all those donations. So if you know anybody in Nigeria or in the president's office.
Yeah. I love the fact that they say it's not a billboard, and you're right. It is effectively more like advertising on the side of a bus. Do you think we could get one of these manatees and write on it 355 million pounds we send to the EU? We get that written on the side of it. Let's put it on the NHS. Also,
no, because you don't have manatees in our waters.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Sea cows is what they're also known as, isn't it? Sea cows, manatees.
Oh, boy. Be respectful.
I'm just saying.
2021.
I can't wait. Where's the one with the video? Here it is. I can't wait to see the next episode of Blue Planet when he comes back with here we can see a right-wing fascist bastard of a manatee. This sea cow seems to like walls, which makes no sense when you can swim right fucking under them. So nice. Can't wait for that. Yeah. Oh God! Imagine that you're so that much of a Trump fan that you decide to graffiti an animal swimming by.
Yep. I don't know how that process. I don't know where the line of thought goes that makes that possible.
Yeah. And what is he going to achieve? Like, well, he didn't get all the votes, but then we didn't count the sea cow ones. Maybe we should recount. And all of a sudden he wins.
When you go to Atlantis and you try and break down the Capitol doors, you got to have the manatees on your side. And don't call them sea cows.
Oh, is it the old? We don't use that word anymore. Okay.
Don't use the C word.
You can get yourself subscribed to the channel, the YouTube channel. There it is on the screen. And also, if you'd like to chuck some money in our pot for the work we've been doing this evening, that's the place to do it. Right. What else have we got coming on in the comment section?
Well, Joyce pointed out it's doing it on the side of a whale. It's green advertising, trying to bring in the hippie vote.
Yeah.
Showing that the right-wing fascists are also environmentalists.
What was the name of that film? 3 billboards outside. Oh, what's the name of the place?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was just Montana? No. Billings? 3
billboards outside. If anyone knows it, put it in the comment section, because we're not going to get around to doing the photoshopping on that either, but it would have been great just to replace the billboards with 3 whales. 3 whales outside something, Missouri.
The algae must chafe a little bit. You want to get some new algae or whatever it is every now and then. So maybe it's just...
I mean, I wonder
maybe it's like Jesus' face in toast. Maybe it's a miracle. Maybe it's a sign that I should have been supporting the president all along, because even the mammals in the sea...
Even the manatee was scratching away to try and make that sign like, whoa. That's how they do it.
Yeah, and it's just no one doesn't know how to spell Kamala.
Yeah, the bishop says, "Did you give Photoshop lessons, Eric?" You can teach how to do it
in this environment. You bet.
Yep. You
get a free Photoshop lesson for every contribution you make today.
That would make you as good as Eric. We should put that in as a caveat.
As good as I am.
Epping, Missouri. That's it. Yep. We could do 3 whales outside Epping Broadway. We could make that happen as a thing. Ebbing, says Jack. Well, it would be if it was in the sea. Oh, Jack's doing some great jokes.
But he put that out there before Mark put Epping.
Oh, so it wasn't a joke. Maybe he was just in the flow, which is another pun on top of your pun. We've double punned.
Oh, dear.
Mark says, it's disgusting that a slow-moving, hairy, unintelligent creature should be scratched onto the back of a manatee. Hey-oh! Have that.
There you go. Mark's gone all in. 3 billboards outside Epping Underground Station.
There you go. 3 manatees outside Newport Pagnell. Right. Oh, no, Jack says he doesn't do jokes. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I apologise.
Neither do we, Jack. Neither do we.
Some weeks we really don't.
Cool. Well,
Martin got it as well.
Are we there?
Yeah, no, I'm still here. I'm just trying to see. Martin got the thing as well. I think we're up to date with. The bishop got it as well. Is it Ebbing or Epping? There's a difference of opinion. Some people saying Ebbing, some people saying Epping. I don't know why I'm pretending like I can't just Google it.
No, Bishop says it's all water under the bridge now.
And it's ebbing. There we are.
There we are. Jack wasn't doing a joke after all.
It's not just about it's not just about entertainment, this show. It's about learning too. And I think that's, you'll come away from this evening, you've learned something.
Yeah. Learned that this is kind of like a shit pub quiz.
Yeah, it's a shit pub quiz, and the main take-home message is don't put a Cadbury's cream egg on your balls. So that was a good lesson.
It will come out rock hard.
Yeah, I don't know how I baked that solid. It's a bit of a rush to get home tonight, so maybe I am slightly warmer than I should be.
Well, speaking of getting home, we will be back here home on Thursday night at 9 o'clock. And, of course, you can watch back the show. You can watch back all the shows.
I know what I was meant to do, and I'm not sure if I can move far enough. I'm going to have to unplug to do this because...
Oh, my. We're flying solo here. It's just me. And then Steve's going to plug his book.
Plug him back in. Guess what arrived?
Hey, look at that.
It's the first time I've written a book that's wide enough to have an actual spine on it. The others didn't, so...
Hopefully someday you'll have one.
Yeah, look at that. Finally, I got a spine. If you'd like to go on to Amazon, and I've been doing various little interviews to try and flog some of these, so you can get yourself... I mean, I wouldn't get the paperback if I were you. I'd get the ebook, because I get more money per ebook than I do from a paperback. Thanks, Jeff Bezos. But I bought these just for my own sense of vanity. Look at that, it's got words in it.
Who did you dedicate it to, Steve?
Someone very special, who's 6'2" tall, bald, and has recently shaved. Weird, huh?
How this describes me to the T.
Yep. So yeah, if you're wanting to do anything, if you want to buy a gift for someone you hate, get them a copy of this, my analysis of last year. And then how's things going with the podcast? I bet you got another episode.
Good. Yeah, if you want to check out my podcast, American Exchange. I'm hopefully. I always hate to talk about guests in advance in case something goes wrong, but I'm going to be talking to a CNN analyst and former conservative or former Republican. I'm not quite sure yet. I haven't found out when she left the party. Her name's Essie Cupp, yep, her name is 2 capital letters, S-E Cupp or Coop.
I'll Google it, but it's a medical thing. I'm definitely sure of it.
So she should be with me for this week's podcast. But last week I talked again to Brian Karem, who was there as the White House the Capitol was getting attacked, and he talked about that. And so, yeah, check out the podcast, American Exchange.
Brilliant. Check us out on social media and enjoy all the videos of us that other people are watching that gets more views of us. Like 2 girls, 1 cup for some reason, which means we're the cup. And yeah, I'd rather we be the 2 girls. Other than that, I think we're all sorted till Thursday, 9 o'clock.
See you there. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.